Welcome back everyone, Zav here. In this video we're going to do a tier list for hunter weapons. I know this is very important. You want to know which weapons you actually should craft, since these materials are not easy to get. The hunter exclusive weapon designs are extremely rare, the crystals not as much, but to craft them you do need a lot of resources, so you want to make sure you craft the correct weapons, otherwise you're just completely wasting your resources. And really quick, we just hit the 60,000 subscriber mark, so I do have to do another giveaway for $100 to either the Google Play or Apple App Store, or just the amount sent to you directly. Our previous giveaway winner was Roshan Bali, so a huge congrats to them. All you need to do is drop a comment on this video and make sure you are subscribed for updates to know if you've won, and also be sure to drop a like on this video just to show your support. And speaking of resources, I know a lot of you are waiting for your codes from our prior video where I'm sending them individually to everyone. Again, these are unique codes. As you can see from the time lapse here, I'm sending the codes one by one to every commenter. In this time lapse, we have 2,000 coupon codes being sent to 1,000 people, and I do have more and I'm still pumping them out. As you can see, it takes a little bit of effort, so please just be patient. I will get to everyone, and if you have received a code, let me know in the comment section down below. I want to see if they're actually reaching the viewers. If not, I may have to change my system, but do let me know in the comment section below. And again, those codes were given to me by Netmarble for completing specific creator missions. We also have this other program called the Supporter Program. If you support the channel, you will be given rewards, so make sure you are supporting us. We are at the #1 spot for the amount of supporters we have. The creator rankings are just based on how much money your supporters have spent, so don't worry about this number. This is the important one. That's why our channel got the most coupon codes sent to them, so I'm sure the devs will give us some rewards once we pump up the supporter number even more. Now let's start off with one of our favorite hunters. We have Cha's weapon here, the Sword of Flight. This is the #1 weapon that you should craft, and I'll tell you exactly why. So far, I have not crafted a single one of her weapons, and when I refer to crafting, I mean using these resources here. I have crafted 3 so far, using the event material. As you saw there, we got another one of her weapons. So if we jump to the hunter weapon menu, you can see I have 4 of her weapons so far. That is because I've done some summons. So we have 1 more here. From the events, you're able to get 3 of the weapons for the individual hunters that are present on the events. So for Cha, you should already have 2 stars, meaning you only have to craft 3 more until you get the precision boost, and focus on the precision amount. Obviously 4,000 precision is quite huge. That means she'll deal more damage more often, because our damage is based on a minimum maximum range, and the higher your precision is, the higher the chance the maximum amounts will be dealt. So just due to the ease of getting a weapon to A5, Cha's weapon should be your priority. That's exactly why she goes in our top spot, because you will get that A5 weapon very quickly, and overall, it is a fantastic weapon. And speaking of fantastic weapons, another hunter that you should prioritize, if you have them of course, is Choi. Choi's hunter weapon is amazing, and I'll show you exactly why. If we hop back to the screen here, and we go down to Choi, there he is. Looking at his weapon, it is very powerful, providing Choi an 18% attack buff, and also, when targets are burned, which happens very easily, their defense is decreased by 20%, which is substantial. So Choi's weapon is very powerful, which just helps Choi deal a ton of damage to the enemies, making it one of the best hunter weapons we have. Now, one other hunter weapon that I do recommend you get, and it's hard to compare which one is better, so I am going to rank these 2 at the same spot. That being for Emma's weapon. It provides a substantial increase to her break effects, increasing them by 12%, meaning you're going to break more often, and also with her heat absorption effect, it now increases a user's damage dealt by 1.5%, stacking up to 15 times for a total of a 30% damage increase. This is substantial because heat absorption is very easy to get off, meaning this 30% boost will be applied super easy, which is why I do love Emma's weapon. A 30% damage boost is so nice. We do have other hunters like Min here, looking at their weapon, they do provide a damage increase by 16%. Obviously, the use case is much easier, but it is much lower. And because Emma is actually a damage dealer, she deals decent damage, she's a tank, and she provides breaks. That's why her weapon is more vital than someone like Min. Min just provides damage boosts and some heals, so his weapon isn't vital. You want to make sure the hunters you're getting the weapons for do serve more than one purpose. That way you can use them in multiple areas of the game. So that's why Emma's weapon is one of the best, and that's why it's also in our SS tier, providing more breaks and more damage, exactly what we want to see on a hunter's weapon. Now, one more weapon I do love that I just mentioned is Jiwoo's. Jiwoo is such a strong hunter, and her weapon makes her even more powerful. At the A5 mark, it increases the user's crit damage by 20% flat. There's no conditions for this, and she also has additional bonuses. When she uses any of the skills here, it increases her crit damage by 6%, and not just 6%, it stacks up to 20 times. That means a 20% buff here and another 120%. Now you might be thinking, well, this is actually kind of hard to get off, but no it isn't. Because of Jiwoo's passive, you can actually spam her skills. They are very easy to get off, meaning you'll stack this crit damage buff instantly. Well, maybe not instantly, but it'll happen very fast. That's why Jiwoo's weapon is fantastic for damage, providing more crit, and you know what that means? She also lands in our SS tier spot, one of the best hunter weapons we have. So I know we have a ton of SS weapons here. One more that is fantastic is Silvermane Yunhu's weapon. Now I am putting in the S tier because Silvermane Yunhu isn't my personal favorite unit. I don't like his playstyle, I don't approve of his kit, and overall, I don't recommend rushing for his weapon. A lot of you will also not have him summoned. He is not on the custom draw banner, as of the making of this video of course, so you should not rush towards his weapon. However, if you did summon on his banner, and you already have multiple dupes of him, including his weapon from the event, I would probably put him next to Chang's weapon, but as it stands right now, I'll just put him in the S tier, just because these hunter weapons here will see much more use than Silvermane Yunhu's. Though, just taking a very quick look at his weapon, I'm in the wrong menu, let me hop back. There we go. So looking at his weapon, it is very good for his kit. It does give him an HP reduction, so every basic attack you land does reduce your HP by 0.5%, but it also deals that damage back to the target, so not too bad. It lets Silvermane Yunhu build up his passives, which if you aren't familiar with, basically, the lower his HP, the more damage he'll deal, so his weapon is obviously perfect for him. But I wish this stat here would change, increasing the user's basic attack damage by 30%. I really wish it was something else. It would have made his weapon so much better. But speaking of weapons that could be better, Min's weapon isn't the top tier weapon I'm expecting. He does not need it to succeed. It will obviously provide a damage buff to your team, but there's much better weapons you can craft, so that's why I put in our B tier. You definitely don't need it. It can help of course, but you have so many other weapons to craft, and by the time you get here, you might not have enough resources, and with hunters being released constantly, you'll definitely not be able to craft it anytime soon. But a tip I do want to give to anyone who is free to play, or even pay to win, I do personally use this trick. If you look at a rare weapon for a hunter, like this one here, you can see it's at the A10 mark. I've advanced it 10 total times, 5 here and then 5 additional times. Once you do this, you get these buffs here, so a higher flat buff for whatever the weapon provides, and also an attack, defense, and HP increase of 10%. That's why you should always get your hunter weapons, the rare ones, to A10. It'll give a substantial boost, even more than an SR weapon. If we tab in here, it only provides a 2% boost, so that's why the rares are actually very important, so they are not useless, and that is exactly why I'm putting them in our B tier. They'll be much more useful, since in the early and mid game, you can use them on hunters you don't have any weapons for. But this does leave us with all these SR weapons here, and actually, I would put them all down here. For a very long time, these will see no use at all. A lot of people do actually salvage their SR hunter weapons, which I strongly recommend against. Eventually, you'll be able to use these weapons to craft SSR weapons for hunters, that being the universal versions, as far as I'm aware. So save these for now, do not salvage them, and you can use these if you also get them to A10, but until they reach the A10 mark, or even the A8 or A9 mark, they won't see very much use. Your rares will outshine them. That's why I'm putting them here, because by the time you get these ranked up, you'll have much better hunter weapons to use. And speaking of hunter weapons you can use, these ones down here, honestly, are not exactly the best ones. I'll show you each individual stat, just so we cover them, but I have to say right now, Wu's weapon is in the F tier. You do get one copy of it, but you should not craft dupes for him. This is before he actually got buffed, so we don't know if he's going to be better. I will do an updated tier list once all the hunter buffs come in, but as it stands right now, this weapon is not useful. I even salvaged mine. There's just much better options out there. But let's hop back and look at a gentle touch, that being Dongso's weapon. It's actually not too bad, providing a flat wind damage increase of 12%. That is his main stat, so increasing his damage by 12%. It also increases the user's basic skill damage, though this ability here, increasing their basic skill damage by 3% whenever one of his passives apply, up to 15 times, is not too bad. That's a 45% bonus to his basic skills, and they already have quite high percentages, so I would say once he receives his buff, it most likely won't be a bad weapon to use, but right now, he doesn't see much use. That's why he's only going to land in our B tier. He isn't a vital hunter to get the weapon for. He's good at removing shields, but right now, that's all he really does. Now we have 3 hunters left. I'm going to do them all together. We have Lim's weapon. It does provide a passive 12% dark damage increase, so that is amazing. That's exactly what we want to see. And when they use a basic attack, within 10 seconds after using their quick attack, the Typhoon Fire, it also increases their attack by 6% for 30 seconds, stacking up to 8 times. So a very decent weapon. It's actually one of the better ones for hunters because it provides a substantial damage increase, the flat bonus, and also the attack bonus, which Lim does scale off of. So if you have a ton of dupes of Lim, he is a hunter you can craft the weapon for. But again, these hunter weapons up here are so much more vital. That's why he's in our A tier. It isn't bad, but it's honestly quite good. So next up, we're going to look at Libora. Her weapon is decent as well, providing a flat 10% attack increase, and also it basically provides a global buff to any targets hit by the user's strengthening charm, basically increasing the damage they take from crits, and also increasing the chance for crits by 10%. A very decent support weapon. Obviously, it isn't vital. The trade-off here is by getting this 10% increase, you're losing out on damage for another hunter. That's why it isn't vital. And something like Min's weapon is much more easy to get off a flat 16% bonus by just using a skill, making it much more simple. And the rate is obviously higher. Even though the crit rate is increased, it's much easier to get off. So that's why her weapon does go under Min's on our tier list, which I'll update here in just a second. We're going to put it right here. It is not vital to get. And speaking of vital, Yunhu's weapon is also not a vital one to get. It'll land at the bottom of our B tier for SSR weapons. I'm going to quickly hop in to show you their weapon and show you exactly what I mean. You can see it does provide a 12% light damage increase, but Yunhu isn't exactly a damage dealer. He is strictly used for his break capabilities. So although the passive here provides a 20% defense increase, it is very powerful, but again, you're not using Yunhu for their damage. Breaks are exactly what you use this hunter for. Every skill they have provide breaks on top of breaks, so that's why their hunter weapon is not required. You do not need to craft it, you only swap in Yunhu for the breaks, and the other passives they could provide. Again, looking at our tier list, these are mainly damage dealers that go up top here. The passive support buffs are obviously good, but you want to get these first, since getting the raw damage in to your main hunter lineup will be so much better than giving them minuscule boosts when they don't even have the proper damage sets for them. So I do hope this list does clarify a few things. This is my ideal priority for hunter weapons, and also noting the fact that you can use rare weapons at the A10 mark, providing substantial bonuses. SR weapons just take too long to get to A10 or A9 for that matter, so that's why they're down here. They can be useful, but that'll take a very long time, and by the time they are useful, you won't really use them since you'll have these weapons up here ranked up. So I do hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to drop a comment leaving your thoughts, and like the video if you enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe as well if you want more Soul Leveling Rise content like this. I do updates on all the latest rewards, so you don't miss out on anything you can get, and I also cover a bunch of helpful guides that will aid your Soul Leveling Rise gameplay. That is everything I had for you today. This is Zaf signing out.